is officially Monday, which is the start of week 3. So as you kind of see, I'm honestly the same. I'm not inflamed at all anymore. I'm just literally normal. I still am congested in my nose, which that can take anywhere from like week 4 to week 6. I can definitely breathe more out of my nose. I have been nose breathing at night. It must harden up the mucus around my nose. It must harden up at night. So I can definitely nose breathe a little bit more now, which is good. Still definitely mouth breathing though. But today's really exciting because I am going to get my cast removed. I'm pretty sure that's what we're doing today. I have like an instruction list of like what's happening today. So at your next visit, I will remove the glue, skin, sutures, and sutures inside your nostrils. Clear away all the crusting inside your nostrils. Start taping your nasal bridge, and you're going to be wearing nose cones. You'll be shown how to do this. So I'll have nose cones inserted and this will be removed. So today's a really exciting day. It's currently 12:30 and my appointment's at 1:45, so we'll probably leave very soon. My mum will come with me. But yeah, I'm really excited because obviously I haven't seen it, but you can kind of already see like in the shape, it's going to be absolutely stunning. Like, hello, cute. But I'm so excited to be able to breathe. Like, that is probably the most exciting thing for me. So anyway, come along on the journey of doing that. I also got a couple of questions too. So I'll answer some questions on the way with my mum for something to do.
Say hi. Hi. Okay. So I asked people to ask me a couple of questions yesterday, and I got a couple of questions here. This one kind of goes hand in hand with one of the other questions someone else asked. So let me get the other question so it kind of goes hand in hand together. The question said, what made you think now was the time to get it done? As you mentioned, it happened years ago. So for context, the nose has been a problem forever, but it's just like, firstly, what made me think now was the time? Financially, mentally, physically, like I actually went in and saw a surgeon for this probably 8 years ago. We walked in, and honestly, at that time, I can say that I was thinking that if I got a nose job, that would fix all of my problems, when it was actually internally a problem. So I thought, let's get a nose job because that will fix my confidence, which it doesn't. It won't ever fix your confidence. So then I walked out of that and didn't book the appointment, and I honestly started working closer with like psychologists and like working on myself. So I think maturity is one of them. Like maturity. It's like everything has a time and place. I feel like even right now, if I hadn't have done the work on myself that I have done in the last 5 years, maybe I'd really struggle with the recovery of this, where like, yes, I've been bored, but it's been easy, hasn't it? Like, yeah. I'm not sitting here, depressed that I can't train, and I'm depressed that I'm bored. I'm sitting here going,
positive.
I'm bored, but it's like I'm surrendering. So I think there's a time and a place, and that's like one of the elements of like being mature enough to understand that getting something fixed isn't the thing that's going to make you more confident. Because I can say, as someone who got her boobs done at 18, I thought that would be the thing that would make me more confident, and what ended up happening was it didn't, because it's a band-aid. And then I started to feel less confident because all of a sudden people were looking at my boobs all the time. So it's just about looking at the root problem. So what made me think now is a time? Maturity, saving, financially, like it's a big cost, like, and even still I felt resistance, didn't I? And even wanting to spend that for myself, because it is a lot of money. And at the end of the day, I wasn't crying myself to sleep on how I looked. I think that I'm stunning. I think I am beautiful with or without the nose, but the breathing, it is fricked. So then that kind of moves me to my next question of, kind of goes hand in hand. So what made you realize your breathing wasn't normal to get looked at? It was never I guess I wasn't really, like 8 years ago, I wasn't really into the gym. Like I was going, but I wasn't really into the gym. So I probably didn't notice my breathing because you become accustomed to it. So when I went to that appointment 8 or 7 years ago, he told me that I had a deviated septum and I had breathing problems, didn't he?
Yeah.
And so that kind of so now I'm a runner and I'm a gym girl and I'm someone who, you know, has a really healthy life. Now I really understand the cause and effect of that, because I can't run as fast as I want to. My body can run fast, but I can't keep up with my breath. Secondly, I wake up feeling tired all the time, which I thought that was just like who I am, but maybe that is because I'm not breathing the best. So that's kind of where that went from. And then obviously what made me take a turn into starting the process to get changed, honestly, just like I just kept putting it off for years. And I just wanted to get it done. Like I just kept putting it off for years.
The right time.
And again, it goes back to like that mental state of like you have to kind of be in a certain place before you go ahead with it. Like surgery is a big thing, and I'm not just going to go do something just for the point of doing something, you know? So I think it was just like, you know what, I'm getting really ahead now with like my running. I'm really liking that, but I was almost like finishing a run going like, I have so much more to give, but I can't. So that's why I decided to do that.
Because there'll still be some changes. Your tip will still shrink more and your bridge is always a bit spongy and weird.
Yeah.
They just light up your nostril like that.
Yeah.
So as you can see, I've had my cast completely removed. Still quite swollen. You would have seen previously the footage of the cast removal that Mum captured on her phone. Great videographer you are. Well done. She's learning. So it is still a bit swollen, and it will go down in the next 4 to 6 weeks, 6 months, 12 months. Like it will continue to, you know, keep doing its thing. But thought I'd continue to answer another question. So someone said, Mum, they said, how did you break your nose?
She didn't break her nose. What happened was a ball hit her in the nose, a basketball, full force, bang, and
And so that happened as a kid.
Yeah.
So the thing is, when you're a kid and you have nose trauma, it doesn't do what adult noses do, where it's like crooked and like you have to go back and get it in place or have surgery, because we know this because Banks got hit in the head at daycare with a shovel, and his nose doesn't look like it's broken, but it absolutely has been broken.
Yeah, well, yeah.
And that will probably affect him
Later in life.
in his adulthood, which is what happened to me. So it wasn't a matter of like, oh my God, this traumatic thing happened. Like I just recall walking across an oval or something like that. I don't think it was a basketball. I think it was a football.
I think it was, yeah.
I don't know. All I can recall is when I was younger, getting hit in the head very hard with a ball, which to this day is still why if I walk across an oval, if a football game's on, I'm very much like that. That's all I can really recall. And that's something that like our surgeon, mate, pretty much will be our surgeon, because Mum's come to with every appointment with me, which I'm very blessed to have, because it is very daunting and a lot of information. And he pretty much said that like your nose, that's what would have happened. And then obviously like we even went back yesterday and we looked at some photos. Mum sent me some photos, and I'll insert them here, of like my nose when I was younger, and I never had that like hump. And for a long time I thought that was like my ethnic
background.
Yeah, my background, like, you know, maybe like Nana had it, or even though she didn't, but like, and so that kind of played in my mind a little bit, like what if Sloane or Banks grow up and they had the same nose as me, and then I've got a nose job, like what kind of message is that sending? But the truth is that wasn't the case, because Mum's got it. I feel like my nose would have been like yours.
Yeah.
Because mine was bony at the bridge, which yours is bony at the bridge. But Taylor, which is my sister, my brother, my mum, my dad, everyone has straight noses. It doesn't run in my family. There's no one, you know, like that's how it was. So it made a lot of sense when he said like, go look at old photos and you'll see your nose was perfect. So I can say that. So that's how I broke my nose. And then another question was, did you get your nose done because you didn't like your nose or to help with breathing? I was saying this to Mum as I was walking to the appointment. There was once a time where I absolutely hated my nose, wasn't there?
Yeah.
There was a time where if you took a side photo of me, I would be like, delete that right now. Now, if you go back on my Instagram, you will see that I take photos like this, side profile running, every time I run, because my nose didn't bother me aesthetically.
No.
Right? But it was bothering me running. My friends would say that I sound like a staffy that's like overheating. And I don't care. I find that really funny. And I also didn't hide my breathing either. Like everyone knew that I was a bad breather and I didn't feel insecure and not breathe. I would very verbally breathe loudly like a dying staffy in the heat. So honestly, like it was my breathing, and you can't just choose to have your breathing sorted, because basically what happens, this is the best thing about this surgeon, because he could explain things to two dum-dums, you know, like two dum-dums that is not in the industry. That's when you know it's a good surgeon. We went to a few different surgeons, and like one of them, we were like yawning at his presentation. He had a beautiful presentation, but he was speaking absolute gibberish. It'd be like me saying to you, hey, today I'm going to do 10 VB on your hair today with a mix of 5N on the roots, and I'm going to use petal lightener and 6. You're going to go, I want blonde. Like, what? So this surgeon that I went to, Dr. Philip Jemaya at Melbourne Rhinoplasty, his bedside manner, he just spoke so great and explained things. So basically, if you have a deviated septum, you can't just have your deviated septum fixed. It's like a tent. And so basically your bridge of a nose is like that tent pitchfork. So to fix the deviated septums, you actually have to like get rid of that, and the whole tent falls down and you have to rebuild it. So it wasn't a matter of like, hey, I like my nose, keep my nose exactly how it is, but just fix my breathing. That's actually not possible. But I did say I do like my nose, so keep it as me as possible, because I don't want to look in the mirror and go, who's that? Like, and I can say that he did an amazing job. Obviously, you won't know the full outcome of what it looks like until 12 months, but you can already see that it's not this cute little Barbie nose, because that's not what I wanted. That's not what I wanted at all. So I guess to answer that question, did your nose get done because you didn't like your nose or to help breathing? Mostly to help breathing, but also I didn't love the bump, and if I'm going to have it fixed, I may as well.
And he said she needed to get it fixed once he went in there.
Yes. And he also said as well, like in the consult, like we had 3 appointments with him pre-consult. So this is before we even booked an appointment. And he basically said, like, if I don't get my nose done soon, it's just going to get worse, because your nose is always adapting and getting worse. So yeah, it was just a matter of like
and he said her cartilage was not good.
Yeah.
So he needed to build that up. So there would be more problems later.
Yeah.
And it's better to have it done now.
Yeah. So yeah, obviously, like you saw after this operation, Mum was telling us what the surgeon had said on the phone when he called her to let her know what had happened. So like that's, yeah, like just it goes to show, once he opened me up, he was like, oh god, this is bad. Which you never know how bad it is until you open things up. Same as like as a hairdresser, you might see someone's hair and you'd be like, I can do the best job, and then you start doing their hair and you uncover bad things. And then another question was, what's the recovery time like, and how has it been for me? I mean, you would know that how it's been from me by watching this entire vlog, because I have shown you every single day how it's been, like in terms of pain and how I'm feeling. So just to kind of recap on that, the pain has been really minimal. It's been more uncomfortable, itchy with the tape, itchy of the nose, can't scratch it, and just like pressure, just feels like a cold. So like if you can imagine yourself having a really bad cold, really congested, no taste, no food, no desire to eat because you have no taste, that's kind of like the pain. But in terms of pain, this has got nothing on the bacteria infection that was affecting my gallbladder and organs. So honestly, like I'm gonna be generous and say 1 out of 10.
Yeah.
Like I've just had Panadol, which actually reminds me we need to get the medication.
Oh, go get it now.
Yeah, are you free?
Yeah, I can go do it.
1 sec. And then how's the recovery time? So I have had this is week
2.
3 right
Yeah,
now.
coming up to 3.
This is 3 right now.
Yeah, 3.
And it'll be the end of 3 Monday.
Yeah.
Because I can go back to gym
Next Monday.
So he has said to me, said like, take 2 weeks off hairdressing. And then he said I can go back to work as a hairdresser on week 3, just like light duties. He also said highly advised me not to just be in my bed, and he advised me to do my coaching work still, because it's important to use your brain, because at this time when people are healing, it's when their mental health can go down, and when you're bored, idle minds create mischief, and you could just be looking and pointing at things. Like, I think that's why I haven't been like looking inside my nostrils being like, my nostrils are so big. Like, we haven't emailed support
No.
at all, where I heard a girl last week say like, oh, miss all our emails. Like, she would have been emailing heaps, because I think idle minds do create mischief. So I am so lucky that I have a job where I can just work from a laptop, like on the couch. So it will be, I'm going back to work really lightly in hairdressing. I've obviously been coaching this whole time. Going back to hairdressing, just like honestly 3 clients for the entire week, and just very chill. My OG clients, they know that if I need to stop or, you know, something like that, cancel their appointments, even they don't care. It'll be 3 weeks off gym in total, and then so next week I will start gym, which will be the 4th week altogether. Obviously I'm not going to go from 0 to 100. Common sense. I will go to the gym 3 to 4 times a week. I will go lightly, and I'll slowly increase my RPE, but that's like the common sense in anything. If you haven't gone to the gym for a month, you're not going to go and do 100 kilos on a hip thrust. Like, you're going to find your feet a little bit. What was that? You're going to find your feet a little bit. So that's that. I can't fly for 6 weeks. And honestly, it looks like we're having appointments every single Monday for a little bit.
Yeah, for a first month.
Yeah, so that's that. Okay, and one of the questions was, how did you pick who to see? I got recommended by a few people to go to this person, and one of them my dad plays golf with, and his wife is a surgeon, and she said and highly recommended Philip. I can't say his other Jamaya.
Yeah.
I don't know. And when I met with a couple of other people, yeah, it was just bedside manner. Like, how I think you have a gut feeling with who you're gonna, I guess, feel safe with, and like, this is a huge thing and a very scary thing. One of the biggest things for me was having my face botched, as we all saw from that influencer that got her nose done. That's an influencer who went to someone good and they botched her nose. So that was very highly on my fear, I suppose. So I wanted to go somewhere that really reputable. And I met a couple of people, and I ended up going with Dr. Philip Jamaya because he's also like a nose throat specialist. He's
Does reconstructive.
he does like a lot of reconstructive. He's also highly regarded. Like, he isn't just a cosmetic surgeon. I think that was a big one. Like, I met with a few plastic surgeons, and whilst that might not be the biggest thing for you, for me, I was like, this is on my face. And as we have all seen, if it's going to happen to someone, it's going to happen to Maxi. That's just how it's always been, you know? If we're all riding in a pack, I'm going to have a flat tire, you know? If we're all running 21 kilometers, Max is going to get a sprained tendon. So I didn't want to risk that. So that's kind of like how I chose him, but highly regarded. And when we met him, we just both knew. Like, Mum looked at me and I looked at her, and I was like, I really liked him. But he was higher on the price, and I was warned that he was going to be, you know, expensive. And to be honest with you, like, my original quote guesstimation was 25 to 45. So that was obviously, that's a pretty big price bracket. My budget, and I say that lightly because if someone was going to come in at 22,000, I was going to do it. But my budget for what I was saving for was 20. So that 25 to 45, like, that's a huge bracket. So I was like, you know what, let's just go ahead. After meeting him that one time, we went ahead and we booked the next consult, and then that's when he looked into my nose and saw everything, and then he was able to actually give me a actual price breakdown. So it ended up being within my budget, which we were so like, this is just meant to be. Obviously, this is the universe saying like, this is your person, this is for you. So all up, my surgeon fees was 15. Again, it's not gonna be case by case. Like if you go to him and he quotes you, it might be more than 15. Like I don't know. I truly think that like he saw something in my nose and me, and he made it for what it was. So his surgeon pricing was 15, and so the hospital fees altogether, it's been 18. Plus all of the appointments are all paid for. You have to go to the consults, which was, I can't remember how much they were. I had 3 consults with them. I think they were $200 to $300. I can't remember. So all up, I probably spent $20K with medication. Like this, you know, like the medication I got was $150 the other week, you know. So like little things like that, which, yeah. So that's a bit of question and answers. Hopefully that helped. Anything you want to add?
No, all good. It's looking amazing.
Yes, it is. And super grateful. Like if you go through any procedure, like I highly recommend that you have someone with you, because it's a lot of information. It's a lot of scary information. You want to make the right choice. Not to mention when you're in that, you're like not thinking, and like there's so many things, and you know, that's how it is. And then also mum took the week off work, the first week, to be with me, and honestly, it was just nice to have company. I'm so glad that you were able to do that. Like very grateful.
And
then the second week she decided that like she wanted to have that with me as well, which was great. And that was really nice too, because I feel like if I was just at home, I feel like it would have been a lot mentally harder. Even though like I can work and do all that stuff, I think definitely like reaching out to a parent, if you have that available, or a friend or someone like that can help kind of be with you on a day-to-day basis, just like making you a cup of teas and making sure you've got your washing and keeping up with all that kind of stuff, because like you want to have as much normality as possible to help you feel even better. So I'm very grateful for my mum, because my partner is working and, you know, got to make the money, so he can't just be at home looking after me. And when he had his operation, like I was working, wasn't I? So it is what it is. But that's probably my only tip for you. If you're going to have something like this, have a good carer, and it'll make it way easier. Okay, this is a current update. It's currently Tuesday around 5 o'clock. I'm making dinner, so if you hear things beeping, shush. I currently look like this. I look like an avatar. Now, very common for your nose to swell again because the cast is off. I have taping on my nose, and I have inserts which are called coning, to kind of like keep the shape, because right now my nose is very moldable, but from the side we look good, we just look swollen. From the front we look like a cartoon character. Like I look like I'm fake right now. Again, this is all to be expected. I will still be swollen for the next 4 to 6 weeks, 6 months, and 12 months. So I am feeling good. I can breathe, like fully breathe, even with these things inserted up my nose. I can fully breathe. So can you imagine when these things are out? I am not in pain. I just definitely feel like I'm swollen here, which has been the case because I've had surgery. Like this thing here, that's a donor rib that I got. I had stitches all inside, all things like that, everything like that. But yesterday's appointment was not at all painful at all. It felt disgusting because I could hear cutting of the stitches, cutting of all the like the packing inside and all that kind of stuff. But pain-wise, it was nothing. I did feel a little bit sick when I sat up and he was showing me how moldable my nose is right now. My nose, honestly, it kind of resembled clay, moldable clay that you can push in, and that made me feel a bit sick and oozy, because while I knew that, I didn't know that, if that makes sense. Like seeing your face kind of being moldable, like you could touch it, was like a lot. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. This is so normal. I feel really fine. I've just been working all day. I'm just currently having my bone broth and my probiotics. Now that I'm finished on my antibiotics, I'm just trying to get my gut flora good. My doctor has given me 5 days of a cortisone
tablet to help with the inflammation, just to kind of like tape it down a little bit. For the next 5 days, I have to have this really early with food. So this morning when Matt went to gym at like 4:30, I got him to wake me up and I had an LCM bar in bed, and I took that because that can affect, it can give you insomnia. It can also give you really bad anxiety and like jittering. I'm not having any of that, but I did wake up early to prevent the insomnia, because to be honest, I'm already having trouble sleeping because I'm doing nothing. As in, I'm not expending any energy, and I'm so used to expending energy, and I'm ready to go to bed when I'm ready to go to bed. And right now I'm laying in bed like this, tossing and turning and up and all times. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now. Side profile looks good. It's just like the front one. I literally look like an avatar, like the girl avatar that's blue. That's me. But yeah, you won't actually really see like the full result. Like he said, like in 6 months you'll see like what it's gonna look like. In 12 months it will be really better, but like it could be anywhere between 18 months. Like the tip can be still swollen. I am allowed to go back to gym on Monday, which is really exciting. And I'm also allowed to run, but I don't think I will be running on Monday. I'm gonna ease into gym first, because you wouldn't go and go from 0 to 100. So I'm just gonna ease into gym. It's still very scary. Like I'm scared to move my face a little bit. I'm scared to even sneeze. Like I'm scared to even laugh and like crunch my nose up a little bit. So just taking it easy. But yeah, I'm definitely excited I can go back to gym on Monday. I've got the clearance for that already. Just spend this week just like, you know, just continuing to do all the little things, eating for nourishment, eating because my body needs food right now, because that's the current medicine. And that's really it. I'm not going to 10,000 steps this week. Like I'm just, you know, having 5 as my baseline. Again, we don't need to go crazy. My body needs rest and restorativeness and whole foods and good foods and not cutting calories. I haven't changed my food for this entire thing. Why would I? My body literally needs food to help the healing process. It's so silly if you do that. No. Even with my bacteria infection, like guys, like at the end of this, it would be like 6 weeks no gym, 6 weeks not really even hitting 10k steps. So, and I have not changed my food, and my weight is literally the exact same. I've been logging my weight every day. I've been tracking my food every day. Yeah. So right now the main focus is on healing as best as I can, and just like taking it easy without obviously taking that too far the other way and literally just eating like shit and being immobile. Like I've already done 5,000 steps a day. I'm at 5,200, so probably go to bed and it'll be 6,000 probably, or maybe just under. I've had all my meals today. I force fed myself to have lunch. Didn't want to eat lunch. I ate it anyway. Again, food is medicine. I just don't really have a whole lot of appetite. I think that's just the bacteria infection from Bali. I'm super like not keen on food. Obviously I had the runs and was super sick in my stomach, so still kind of like battling with like even desires to eat. I'm forcing myself to eat because again, food is medicine. But that's kind of like a little bit of an update from me. I'm currently making me and Matt dinner. Tonight we're having chicken schnitzels with mingle gravy, and I've just made some different veggies. I've got some sweet potato, some white potato, and some pumpkin for just gut health purposes, and also yum. I'll cook that in ghee. And I'm just gonna have my bone broth now with my probiotic, and yeah, that's my update. So I will take note of this like every day, because it will change every single day. And I think that's really important. Like that's what's really helped me in this process, is like kind of like logging what I look like, because one day I was like, God, my inflammation hasn't gone down, but then I logged photos and I was like, oh my God, yes it has. So I think that's a really important part of like this whole thing. But I love it. I love it, and it's swollen. If that doesn't say enough, like I love it and it is swollen. I love that I can breathe. I feel like I have straws in my nose. And I have things in my nose. I can't even really breathe properly, but I feel like I can breathe so much. So is this what I've been missing out for? Like 31 years of my life? Well, good morning. I feel like I should actually say good afternoon because it's currently Wednesday at 10 o'clock and I'm obviously still in my pajamas. I took my medication today, which I have like a 5-day thing, and like my heart is racing. I have been on the couch since like 8 o'clock. My heart is like literally going so crazy, which that is one of the symptoms of taking this, is like anxiety, jitteriness, and I kind of feel like I'm having a panic attack, but without the panic, if that makes sense. Obviously, I look very relaxed right now because I actually used to have really bad anxiety and depression and anxiety attacks every day. So this feeling is not new to me, but I haven't had one in years. So I'm just like, I've been on the couch, like noticing what I can smell, what I can touch, what I can see, and really just like going back to those little things. But my heart rate is 90, like doing nothing. As you can kind of tell, I'm like out of breath a little bit, but that's okay. Like my doctor did warn me that this would be the case. So I think with that being said, tomorrow I won't take this. He said there's no point taking it if it like it feels this way, you know. The only reason I'm taking it is to help with the inflammation. And tomorrow I have work in the salon and like I don't want to feel like this, although sometimes I think taking your mind off it with work, as in hairdressing, could also help a little bit. But I think tomorrow I'll just have a rest. I had a good night's sleep last night because one of the other symptoms is insomnia, which I've already kind of been struggling with just honestly like since Bali. How scary that was. Like my dreams have just been really scary, like with health and stuff like that. And then when it comes to like now, I still have just like tossing and turning and like really struggling to go to bed. So really struggling to go to sleep. Like the whole pretending to go to sleep part seems to go for like hours. Like I try to go to bed at like 9 o'clock and I'll be tossing and turning until like 11:30, and then finally I fall asleep. So that hasn't bothered me is what I'm trying to say. Yesterday I got up early. I've been taking this as early as possible. So Matt leaves the gym. I don't even know what time. Maybe he gets up at 4:30. So I have to eat something. So I just had half my LCM bar in bed and then took that, because the earlier you have it, the less it will affect your insomnia, which is really good. So I wasn't affected by that last night. But I am definitely feeling the effects of being very anxious and jittery. I wouldn't even say anxious, just the feeling of what anxiety feels like. You know, like the heart, like I feel really, 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 really jittery, except for like I'm not, but I feel like my insides are doing this. But yeah, that's kind of like an update. Still obviously very swollen at the front. Matt redid this for me. It makes me feel a little bit sick. Like taking that off, I think because my nose is really moldable and like, I don't know, it just makes me feel really nauseous. And then I put these in, so I'm allowed to have these out. Like, I have to have these in for like 20 hours a day. They are freaking hard to put in, but we did it. Now I'm just squashing and talking to you guys because honestly, I feel like this is like lowering my heart rate a little bit. No, it's not. It's just going up. But this is obviously relaxing, and I'm obviously talking, so my heart rate will go up. Oh no. I think I have to sneeze. It's so scary sneezing. I have to like almost cough it out. Anyway, I'm really grateful today that like I have done all of my coaching work. I just have a few meal plans and some form checks and just client replies, but I'm so grateful that today I am able to just like spend the morning on the couch and just like looking after myself. And this feeling, like I'm really sitting in a lot of gratitude right now because I'm so grateful that I can just like choose when I'm going to go on work because all my work's been done. I'm someone that tries to get I coach 30 clients, like 30 one-on-one clients. But I have 3 tiers of like weekly, fortnightly, monthly. And so I really try and prioritize getting my check-ins done Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, depending on like my work roster, because I'm also a hairdresser. every week's gonna look different. And yesterday I worked in hairdressing for like 2.5 hours just to kind of ease into it. So I got a lot of my coaching check-ins done, like the actual work that needs to be done, where sometimes I would spread it throughout the whole week, maybe just doing like 5 a day or whatever like that, depending on my work roster. But at the moment I've been trying to get it done as early as possible, because you just never know what the end of the week may entail. So I'm really glad that I did that. It meant that I worked a little bit later on Monday night, because obviously I went and got my cast off and everything like that. But yeah, I'm just sitting in, like I said to Matt before, like I'm sitting in a lot of gratitude right now that I can just sit on the couch and just like breathe and focus and like all that kind of stuff. But I'm very clammy right now, so I'm gonna take my dressing gown off. I'm gonna have some bone broth and just like drink some water and just maybe watch, it's like a new series out Off Campus. I don't know, I might just watch that. I just did my meal plans because I thought like, oh, maybe if I'll just do some work that will take my mind off it. And it helped a little bit, but then I finished my meal plans for my clients. So anyway, that's an update. Obviously still very swollen, very avatar still. That's expected. I'm not expecting to wake up and my nose not be swollen, but I actually do think that it's less swollen here actually. So that's okay. But yeah, that's all from me. It's actually crazy. I don't ever. I think this could be really beneficial for all of you guys, because I often hear this with my clients. Like they will have a symptom and they'll just like Google it or chat GPT it. I don't do that. Same thing as like I have not really looked at anyone else's journey in a nose job, because if someone had a really hard experience, like I might make that experience my own from their experience. Like, so I just was obviously feeling jittery, and I remembered like on Monday he said insomnia, anxious, jittery, kind of heightened anxiety. And so I just quickly Googled like the side effects of the medication. And yesterday I had a really sore throat and I was like, oh, fucking hell, am I getting sick? Like I cannot get sick right now. Like having a blocked nose again, like I cannot. And then I also haven't seen anyone. Like I've literally been housebound. But one of the symptoms was also a sore throat. So that kind of made me feel a bit better. But I just like sent Matt, the symptoms, and he obviously read them. And he was like, it's all fine, it's just the medication. Maybe we'll just have a rest tomorrow. So I think sometimes like reading into things like that just make it 10 times worse. Update, my feeling of like jittery anxiety, I suppose, has definitely gone down. I've just been sitting on the couch watching Off Campus, which is, it's kind of cringy to be honest. I'm so not into that kind of stuff. I feel like because I have a really good relationship that does not lack intimacy and all that kind of stuff, I'm like, I don't really need to watch that, but that could just be my opinion. I'm just gonna get the walking pad out here and just like walk here, but I just am changing my shoes and I wanted to talk about that. So many times I see my clients walking on their walking pads with slippers or like Crocs on, and it is so bad for you guys. Like your feet are so important to you, and you need to respect that. Like walking in shoes like that have absolutely no support is exactly why you might have a sore back, or you might get a niggle, or insert whatever. Google it. Like there's even, I've seen things online, like physios and stuff like that speak out about like kids wearing Crocs long term and like the development of their feet being like not the best for it. But I just wanted to say, like, it's really important that you understand that you're still walking on a walking pad, and if you're doing 10k steps on a walking pad wearing slippers or Crocs, and then you have a lower back problem, or I don't know, something happens, your hips hurt, like please use common sense. Like your feet are so important, and I feel like I didn't really appreciate my entire body until I started running, and also just like learning more about the entire body as a system, because even with running, like respecting my feet and like learning how to move properly and bounce and land, the same thing applies with walking. Like wearing proper shoes is so important, is what I'm trying to say. Walking on my walking pad now, just like really slowly, like might actually make that a bit faster, but I kind of just want to touch on like not every single day is going to be your day, and it's important to try and like look at things from a glass half full, not half empty. And I could sit on the couch and go like, poor me, my day is going to be so bad the whole day, how am I going to get through this? Where in reality, I honestly was like, you know what, I'm just going to sit on the couch, I'm just going to just breathe and focus on what I can control, and you know, in an hour I'll feel better. And just having that mentality alone is like super important. And I can tell you, like, I haven't always been like this. I have not always been like this. I was a very, very negative person. If you were to, you know, talk to anyone that has known me, I used to be a very, very negative, very, 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 very negative person. My mindset on life was pretty negative. And I think just changing that has helped so much. And I can definitely see in these scenarios just how much I've changed, because sometimes, like, you know, I'm like 6 years into my personal development. 6 years, yeah, 6.5 years into my personal development. My lifestyle changed, losing all the weight, but not even having the weight as the main focus. The main focus was on, you know, becoming my best self, my happiest self, my most resilient self, my most honest self, and the body became the byproduct of that. So like, yeah, it's just about like, sometimes you actually like, celebration is so important. And I can tell you right now, I've had so many moments in the last 6 weeks where I'm like, oh, I'm so glad that I worked on that. I'm so glad that I worked through that. So glad that my coach did that, because I had to learn that, you know, like even right now, there has not been a single inkling in my mind that I should drop my calories because I'm not moving as much. There has not been a single thought that like, oh my God, I should go into a calorie deficit right now. Like I should, like, it hasn't even entered my mind, because right now my main focus is on healing, and healing is expensive. And when I mean expensive, it means that I need enough nutrients in my body to be able to heal tissue, to heal wounds. Like this is an injury at the end of the day. Not only that, obviously I had a bacteria infection where my body has been through it. I have been in so many medications. The last thing I need right now is to take away nutrients. What I am doing instead is, obviously I've been tracking my food. I like tracking my food. I'm someone who likes to improve my life. I like to save money, invest my money, and I like to, you know, improve my everything. Like I see tracking as no different to investing my money into things that make me more money, you know. So I've been tracking my food this whole time. Obviously, when I had the bacteria infection, I was honestly like eyes closed for like 20 hours of the day. So we weren't really eating much there, but we definitely tried. Matt made me eat a lot of food. He tried to make me have, you know, protein every single day. I kept my water up, and I just tried my best. So obviously I couldn't track my food in that moment because I was literally fighting for my life. Like seriously, not even exaggerating, very, very scary. But this whole process, you know, I came out of hospital. I obviously had KFC the first night, but I tracked everything. Still hit my calories, especially like I came home and had my casserole and everything like that. So what I'm doing right now is focusing not on lowering my calories or increasing my calories. It's just a matter of like having enough diversity through my diet to help my gut flora. Basically, your gut microbiome is like, let's say like a fish tank, right? And there's heaps of different species of fish in there, and you need to feed it, but the different diversity in food helps to breed more different fish, and that's basically your gut microbiome. Like we've all seen that in our health ads, probably, where like there's little gut helpers, and they're all different species. Diversity in your food, so like having an orange, then having a pineapple, then having a strawberry, then having broccoli, then having cabbage, then having red cabbage, and then having a spring onion, and then having, you know, different stuff helps to breed the different gut microbiome creatures in your stomach. So that's honestly been my main focus on, as having as much diversity in my diet as possible, which again isn't restrictive. It's very freeing. Like everyone always says, like tracking your food is so restrictive, like I don't want to feel restricted, but you're the only one that is placing that restriction on you, because I can tell you right now, last night I had chicken schnitzels and gravies with pumpkin, sweet potato, and white potato cooked in ghee. The night before that I had gluten-free lasagna. The night before that, me and Matt made a bang bang Korean chicken cabbage kind of salad. The night before that we had lamb souvlakis, again with heaps of different fruit veg. We had like a Greek salad. So like, and again, this has all been tracked in. Everything's been met. So yeah, I think that in these moments I really do notice my growth, because again, I just relate back to when I was 18. I had my boobs done and we did the typical whole, I got so shredded for being 18, in the most unhealthiest way, like double sessions in the gym, doing boxing and weights, PTs, eating absolutely minimal. I had a coach at the time. We've just come so far in that element. I don't want to say like he put me on X amount of calories, but that's the data we had at that time. And it was very unsustainable. I hated the food. I literally hated the food. Like, I hated the food. So you can always see that the minute that I had yummy food, I couldn't control myself. So I had surgery. And then I literally could not control the cravings because I restricted myself for so long to get into that shape before my surgery. And then I honestly never went back to tracking. I don't even think don't even recall going back to the gym for years after. And I honestly gained like 10 kgs like very fast. I then started binge drinking, partying a lot, because I thought that my boobs were going to fix my insecurities, when actually I then got more insecure because I'd go to the clubs and my tits were huge. So yeah, that's on like, I just think that this is such an important thing to like understand. Like, it's not restrictive unless you place that restriction on yourself. And I can tell you right now that like living in bodies that you hate, you can't wear bikinis, and it makes me so sad because I hear this all the time, like I'm going on a holiday and I have only ever worn a bikini 5 times in my adult whole life. Like, that makes me so sad, but it's also so common. And I relate to that because, you know, 6 years ago, I remember sitting at my house that I lived opposite the beach thinking, I don't think I'm going to wear a bikini this year because I'm so embarrassed. And I had 2 options. I could either sit there and continue in my binge eating ways in COVID, or I could hire a coach and do something about it. And obviously, you know what one I chose. But yeah, I think that this whole scenario has just shown me, I already knew how much I'd grown, but to compare experiences, it's just like chalk and cheese. And I think that's a little bit why I was a little bit, I guess, reluctant to get this surgery, because it wasn't that I wasn't confident about my nose. We all know I take side profile like this, like running every Sunday. I take photos like this looking at Matt. Like, I literally, it wasn't about that, but also I want to fix my breathing and I wanted to fix how it looked. But it didn't come from like, this is going to fix my confidence. It came from like a really neutral state of like, it's just going to enhance how I feel about myself. So that's a difference. Like, when I got my boobs done, I generally thought like, this is going to change my entire life. I'm going to be so confident after, and honestly it just had the opposite effect. So that's on working at the root. And honestly, this is like an 8-minute freaking spew right now, but just like noticing how different I am in this moment, like in all these moments, nourishing myself, drinking enough water. Heck, I'm even on a walking pad right now. I don't need to be, but it's raining, and I want to keep to like that 5,000 step kind of goal. And I know that will also just help the way that I feel inside, because movement really is like truly freaking medicine.